So, welcome to the Fluffle Valve YouTube channel. Now then, problem I've got here was I've gone from a hard top, or no, truck cab to I want to put a soft top on it, or a full tilt as you call it. First of all though, I want to start off with the bikini roof. So that's where the frame sits. It's got to go in that hole there. Obviously this is the door channel up and over the roof of the door. So the roll bar the loop sits a bit higher than what the roll bar does in the middle. But when you get to here, this loop, this roll bar sticks out more than what this does here. So when you put your tilt on, it'll come round this and tuck in behind the channel there on the door frame. And of course it'll come out, go round this again. This bit here will be sticking out. This bit, of course, then it comes down. You might see this bit down here, but when you look from the back now, so as you look at the roll bar and the kink in it where it comes up from the bulkhead, you can actually see the loop that sits beside the door frame, the window frame. And then of course in the middle you can see the loop sitting above the roll bar. And of course it's the same both sides, so you know that you look right down the centre there, you can just see where the kink is in the roll bar. You can see where the loop is. However, bolts wise, here and here is where the centre loop would loop over. You're going over to the other side for the full tilt. It fits, the roll bar fits into that hole there, and you can get your fingers in. If you look the other side, you can see where the bolt is at the bottom of the roll bar there. You can get your fingers in underneath, you know, to get the nut and bolt in. This end, you get one bolt in here, and then underneath here should be another loop for your tilt. You can just see where it's raised, and there you can see the hole, the other hole for the plate on the roll bar. Now if you look across to the other side, you can see where the tube drops down and the roll bar is sitting higher with the bolt in it. The bolt is actually in the hole there, although it's sitting higher. But to make everything sit flat, I need to grind off the top of that tube, which is where a tilt loop goes in there. You know, your sticks, or whatever you want to call them. To make everything flat, then I've got to grind off, you know, this bit in here. I've got to grind it flat so that this plate sits flush here. Now then, if I move the whole of this forward onto there, this will sit inside that tube bit, but I then can't get a bolt in here. I've got to actually drill it and then cut a hole in, you know, underneath, you know, across there. So it would come forward like 3.5 inches, and I can't, the next square hole along over there is not enough. what I'll do is I'll pause this and then I'll move it across, take the bolts out, and just you can see how it sits then. Right, we're back and I've moved it. Start with the front here. So I've moved it. This is the tube that I'm on about that will need grinding off, grinding flush. So I'll probably have to take that tube right out because it's not welded from the underneath, it's welded on the top here. So by the time you've flushed it down, the tube will probably just drop out. Now that is where a loop goes in. And also the truck cab bolts through that. Now I'm not sure when you put a full tilt on whether you actually need the double loop, because you've got this loop here. And do you put one in there or not? And then of course you've got the two holes here for your centre loop, and then you've got your raised sections again at the back for your other loop. So you go in loop, loop, and then loop and loop. They all line up. See, that one's actually raised, but I'm not sure. Would you actually put 4 loops in? So you got one at the back, one in the middle, one here, and then of course you've got the one at the front, you know, which holds all the frame around the door and everything. So but either way, whichever you put on there, whether it's a bikini top or full tilt, this bar still sticks out. But if it sits here in front of that raised section there for the loop, I can drill it and get behind it to get a nut and bolt in there. But I can't with the middle, because if you look across, you see where the bolt goes in, your fingers just aren't long enough to get in either square hole. So you've got to cut another section out of it. So it makes sense that the whole thing will, you know, if you fitted it, you would have to bring this hole up to here, and then you know, bolt that down. And of course then here you've got this hole here, you know, next to that, so them two holes here fit one in there, one in there. But of course you've got this raised section, so not really too happy with the roll bar altogether. If I was going to just leave it open and just put the roll bar on and have it bulging out the sides, then of course I would have to mount it in the holes available and grind this off flat. Of course I wouldn't need a loop in there if the roll bar's sitting there, but the roll bar will still be lower than what the loops are. So I don't know. I think it probably fits a short wheelbase better than a long wheelbase. I'm honestly thinking they're actually designed to fit a short wheelbase and not a long wheelbase. I don't know. Something I really don't know. So if you've got any answers, be great.